best in the world, and still your world heavyweight champion, CM Punk. We gotta talk about it. The 3 Stages of Hell match with Cody and Drew is coming up this week on SmackDown. You know we're gonna dive into that. Bad news, Becky. She's back as your new Intercontinental Champion. We gotta get into it. All this and more coming up next. Right in the ropes. You know where it's at. Let's get it.
Welcome back to the Writing the Ropes podcast with my co-host, Winston.
What's good?
I am the host, Travis.
What's good?
What's good, my boy?
What's good with you, dog? How you doing?
Wonderful.
You already know, bro. What we want to tackle first, bro? CM Punk, best in the world. What you want to talk about? You want to talk about the best in the world? You want to talk about Cody Rhodes? You want to talk about Becky Lynch? You want to talk about
Let's talk about the world heavyweight title.
Okay.
It's so fresh. It just happened.
All right, so
feels right.
What do we think about it? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. It's your.
Is it not exactly how I called it?
Yeah, bro. Yep. Exactly, bro. Exactly.
The only thing that was wrong from what I really called is I thought LA was gonna return to even the odds. I wasn't expecting Dragon Lee inserted into that.
Yeah. Dragon Lee was he was like kind of like a last minute thing, but they kind of needed something for him to do.
Now that it's obvious that he's not gonna be with tagging with AJ.
But that's why we got to talk about Gunther like later. We got
we'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that.
But yeah, dude, the match.
But no,
yeah,
it was solid.
Yeah,
it was definitely really good match. Kind of played out how I kind of pretty much expected it to. Most of the offense going to Bron.
Yeah, as it should. The way his character.
Yeah, as it should. It's exactly what he should have done, and it really was down to Punk being the veteran, knowing how to win in those situations. We seen Punk pull out stuff he doesn't really pull out that often in this match.
Paying tribute to.
Get right. He paid a tribute to John with the STF, pulled out the pile driver.
Mm-hmm.
It's not every day we see the Anaconda Vice.
Yep. So, he pulled out a lot of stuff that he, like you say, he usually doesn't do. So it was good to see him pull out a lot of that stuff tonight, for sure. The match itself was good, but like you said, you expected a lot of Bron heavy offense, and that's what a lot of the match was Bron taking it to him as he should. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking in my head, like, Bron should kill you. He should kill him.
Dude, like, realistically,
he should kill him. Now,
he would dismantle him.
Punk found a way, right? Like, be savvy and find a way.
He took some crazy bumps in that match.
Yeah, he did. I don't expect him to have another match for a minute, dog. I don't think he's gonna have a match for
probably
a minute.
Not until
a PLE. He ain't gonna wrestle on.
I'd probably say I don't think he's gonna defend it at Royal Rumble, unless there's some type of rematch with Bron. But I don't see Bron not being part of the Rumble.
Now we got to revisit the Rumble, because it's like, we talked about Roman and we talked about Gunther, but now it's like, okay, now you got to throw Bron's name in there. With him losing to Punk tonight, like I talked about with you while we watched it, bro. I'm like, Bron can't come back and say, I want a rematch. You know what I'm saying? Because there was shenanigans, but didn't have a direct impact on him winning or losing the match. So he can't say it was like, oh, the Vision costed me this. And he can't say, oh, well, it was a disqualification or anything. It wasn't nothing shady went on. So he has to earn his spot back. So what's the one way you can earn your spot back? The Royal Rumble.
Or the Elimination Chamber.
The Chamber, too. Yeah, he could do it at the Chamber. So it's like, but now it leaves it open to him possibly winning the Rumble. Whereas before, we weren't thinking that. We were thinking, okay, he'll be kind of in this Vision and Punk program until Mania. But
yeah, I didn't foresee this match. Either way, I didn't see either one taking a clean 1, 2, 3. And obviously, you had the Vision, Penta, Ray, Dragon Lee all out there, but you didn't have anybody really play into the finish of the match. So it was pretty much as clean of a match as you were going to have in the circumstances that you had with the story that was playing out. So I agree with you. And another thing that's got me rethinking the Rumble is we're about, it's at the end of the month. Roman has yet to return. And if he was going to return, tonight was as good as any, with how much you advertised it being the anniversary of Netflix. You had the collab with Stranger Things, which was dope, by the way, as somebody who has never seen the show.
Yeah, bro. And as somebody who has watched the show, that was definitely, I love how they did the chapters for the segments of the show, like the chapters for the episodes of the TV of Stranger Things. That was fire. We could go on a whole tirade about that, but get back to what you were saying.
But yeah, with him not returning tonight, it's like, where does he return in between now and the Rumble? And it's like, I don't foresee Roman being, it's like, I know I picked Roman, but it's like, I also don't foresee Roman being somebody that doesn't return until Rumble and just wins the Royal Rumble. Could that, does he have the possibility to do that? Yes, I'm not saying he doesn't. I just don't.
You think he shows up before that?
I feel like he's, for him, he's got to build up some type, he's coming off a loss from War Games. He lost to Bronson Reed. It's like, you got to build up something. You're not on the bet, going at the bet, not doing the best in your matches right now. So it's like, you got to build something, some type of momentum. Is how I see it. And I think with how tonight played out, how the main event played out tonight, Bron instantly jumps to one of the favorites to win.
What? The Rumble?
The Rumble.
Yeah.
But besides that, it was a great match. Like I said, pretty much expected how it went with Bron, being the one with the heavy offense and Punk being the wily veteran who finds a way to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like we said, it was everything that we expect. I expected the match to be shorter.
And you were actually surprised. I said as they were coming out, I was like, with the time that it was, because they were coming out at like 8:50 my time, and I'm like, well, with the time that it is, they gotta have like a decently long match. And you had even said you were like, probably not, probably like 20, you expected it to go to like 9:15 my time, 10:15 yours, and it actually ended up going to, half past the hour.
Yeah, it was actually shocking to me because they usually, they don't usually do that unless it's a PLE type match.
And I was actually pleasantly surprised. Like, I talked to you, I said this to you before as Raw was going on, I'm pretty sure, or even before. I don't remember if it was earlier today or as Raw was going on, but I enjoy the fact that they had a World Heavyweight, one of the top titles being defended on the weekly programming, and I wish that we would have it more often, with also the occasional title change on the weekly episode.
Yeah, see, that's where it gets interesting, right? So tell them tell the audience what you told me about the World Championships being defended on a weekly, like. Or not
I feel
weekly,
like,
but
not on a weekly, but being not on a weekly basis, but like actually being defended on a Raw or a SmackDown. Like back in the day, I felt like it made the episodes back then that much more entertaining, because you knew you would have a top title being defended, and back then you knew there was a possibility that it could change hands on a random weekly episode. What better way to get, the crowd into it than a title change on a Raw or a SmackDown? Like, could you imagine if we would have had Bron win tonight? Could you imagine if Drew wins on Friday?
Now, yeah, that's what I want to see. I'm not going to lie. And I'm telling you, I think they're going to do it. You don't think they're going to do it? It's scary, bro. It's scary, bro. But I think because look, this is my theory right now. So notice how when we watched Raw, I was like, all right, we watched 2 title changes already. Okay, you had Io, you had Becky, or Io and Rhea, and then you had Becky. Okay, they weren't gonna have a third title change on the same show. Now, SmackDown is a whole different show, and the world title was already retained, but it was already retained, but it was on the opposite show. So they can go and say, hey, this is the other world title and have it change hands. You know, both world titles, one got defended, the other one swap hands. It makes sense for
the only reason I don't see that happening is SmackDown has also had 2 title changes on each of the past 2 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks, but you're probably right.
And, you know, as we're talking about SmackDown, I guess we can get into the 3 Stages of Hell match that's upcoming for this Friday's SmackDown.
Yeah. So what? Run me through what were the matches? Because we picked completely different Well, outside of the steel cage and Hell in a Cell. I mean,
we talked about different possibilities for matches. But they announced the matches. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, it was like.
But they announced the matches. The first match is a normal match.
Yeah,
just a standard 1-on-1, which isn't that uncommon in a 3 Stages of Hell match. It's it's not that uncommon.
But it's just unexciting.
With the way that you're playing up this feud, like. You have Cody Rhodes go to Drew McIntyre's home. That it shows that this is supposed to be a blood feud.
This should not be a normal match.
You know, I 100% agree, but I will say it's not against the norm.
Fair enough.
The second match is a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third match is a steel cage match.
All right, so run me through how you think the match is going to play out, all 3. So you want...
Right now, I think Drew gets.
Fall?
I think Drew.
Why? How does he get it?
Because of the mind games that he's playing with Cody right now. I think he's gonna get a sneaky DQ finish or something in the first one. He's gonna have Cody.
He's gonna make Cody snap.
Yeah, he just burnt the picture of him and his dad. Mm-hmm. You know how Drew can get, especially with his trolling. I think he's gonna I see it playing out that he makes Cody go over the edge and he gets a DQ finish in the first one, giving Drew the first fall. And then I see Cody getting the last 2, obviously.
Okay. I hope so if Drew wins, how would you write it?
The match? How would I have him win the match?
Yeah. If you're gonna have Drew go over, so you just gave me the likely outcome for Cody, but do it for Drew.
So obviously you have him split the first 2. Drew obviously taking the first fall the same exact way. In the cage match, you have them go back and forth, each of them coming, having their near trying to get out of the cage. And you have Drew hit Cody with 3 claymores and then fucking dominantly walk out of the cage.
Damn. 3?
It's
and at the end, too?
It'll play out like this. So he gives him 1, and then he goes to leave, and then Cody's getting up and everything, and then Drew looks back, sees he's getting up, gives him another one, goes to leave, Cody's getting up again, gives him another one, and that's the one that puts Cody down, and then he dominantly walks out of the, he doesn't climb, or he doesn't pin him, nothing, he just walks out the ring. I feel like that's more dominant than giving him 3 claymores and pinning him.
I like that. They're not gonna do that.
They're not, because Cody's gonna win.
Why are they doing this to Drew, bro?
I told you the only avenue that I will be okay with with him not winning here. Because you've been playing in Drew's face for 2 years at this point. Drew has been the most consistent when it comes to being there on a weekly basis, in the ring, on the mic. Dude has put himself on a whole nother level, even from his championship reign during COVID.
He's low-key been a workhorse for them. He hasn't had the championship to be. He hasn't been a workhorse champion, but he's been a workhorse star.
Yeah, he had feud of the year with Punk. Mm-hmm. 2024 at this point.
2 years ago, but still. And now him and Cody, it has been a good rivalry. I think it's dragging a little bit, but
it's at a point, yeah, it's been a good, I'm not saying it's not been a good rivalry. I think it's just went on a little too long because this has literally been Cody's only feud since he's won the championship back from Cena.
Right. But that, again, I hope Drew wins, but I'm hesitant.
At this point, not to cut you off, but at this point, if you've had it going on this long, the best outcome is for Drew to win the championship.
Yes.
Because if it's just to keep the belt on Cody again, why did we have it drag out this long? Which, I mean, ultimately, we both know the answer to it's because there's not enough quality top heels on SmackDown for Cody to go up against. Right. That's why I think, like, on SmackDown, you seen Randy came back.
Yeah, he said, I'm coming for that.
And after you know, came back, RKO'd The Miz, and then after he ran into Cody and said that after he was done.
With Drew, he's coming for the title.
Yeah, that he was coming for the title.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to, very shortly here, I think we're going to get a heel Randy.
I better get one. Get one.
He's going to be a heel, but he's still going to get cheers, you know.
I need Randy to be a heel. He's been goody two-shoes Randy for too long. Let him get back to
Randy
RKO and
is
whoever.
Better as a heel.
Yes. He's always been better as a heel.
Right, always been better as a heel.
And he's been, like I say, he's been a face for too long. Ever since.
Well, that's because
RK Bro.
Yeah, he was a face before then, but the thing is, you couldn't have him come back as a heel after he had the back injury because he was gone for so long that he wasn't going to get anything but a major pop when he came back.
But what's stopping? Okay. I've seen WWE do this before where they come back, they get a major pop, and then they screw a huge baby face and generate instant heat. They could have easily done that.
This isn't that time anymore.
What you mean this isn't that time?
They don't do that. They don't. When is the last time you've seen that?
I can't remember it.
Exactly.
I can't remember it.
We're not in that time with WWE anymore.
Why can't they do that, though, is my point. Just because it's not that time doesn't mean you can't make it that time. They could do some shit like that. What?
You're giving the writing team too much credit. Are you forgetting who's on that writing team?
Dog, I'm just saying, if we're talking about a situation where you take a character that you know is going to get a pop when they come back, you take them and you make them screw a babyface. Cody's in there, he's wrestling Drew McIntyre, and let's say you held off Orton's return until that moment. You come in, okay, you think he's there to help Cody, turns around and gives Cody a RKO. You're like, ooh.
That's bad writing because why would he be there to help Cody? There's no reason for Randy to just randomly show up to help Cody.
I'm just saying in general.
First of all.
It has to have a setup. It has to have context. I was just using those as an example, like those characters as an example.
Bro,
I'm not saying
you forget Randy Orton is in his mid-40s coming off of a back surgery of 2 years. He wasn't going to get... I'm not trying to hear none of that, bro. They weren't doing anything but bringing him back as a face.
They could have done that with anybody, but I'm saying they could have done that with it. So anybody that is a face... that leaves and comes back that you know is going to generate a pop. That's why I said that. Like, I just use Randy Orton as an example, but you could take anybody that's a face that you know is going to generate a pop when they come back.
I said, when is the last time that has happened? Bro, they're going to lean into the merch sales, the generational pop that they're going to get when they come back. They're going to get a major pop. Their merch sales are going to jump off the fucking boards. The thing is WWE does not want heels that get cheers, bro. This is the thing is when I say Randy's going to turn heel soon, I don't think it's going to be like a full-fledged heel. Like it can't be. Because he's still going to get his cheers. He's going to be this tweener character, which I think is actually good for the SmackDown roster because that gives you somebody that can honestly feud with anybody on the roster because they love to play into this bad guy, good guy thing. they don't like to do two good guys against each other. They don't like to do two bad guys against each other. But it's just WWE does not want their heels actually getting a pop.
But they're going to get a pop anyway.
But the magnitude of Randy is, after that long away, there's nothing. That man could punt a baby in the ring, and he's still going to get cheered on his return. It does not matter. He could club baby seals in the ring on his return, and he's still not going to get booed.
I'm just saying, bro.
Should he have been a face this long after coming back? No. They've been playing into him turning for so damn long, and I think a lot of what played into that was Kevin Owens getting hurt last year before Mania.
That threw a lot of it off. Yeah.
I think that is because I think we're gonna get the punt kick back. Like, I think that was gonna be the first time that we seen him actually connect. Because you remember, leading up to that, he kept lining people up, and he either missed or something happened. But he wouldn't
connect with it was during COVID.
Yeah.
That was the last time I seen him hit it, because he was starting to do it on all the legends back then, right? He was doing it on Christian, and I forgot who else.
He did it on Christian. He did it on... I want to say Ric Flair, Big Show.
Yeah, Show. Yeah, it was a few of them. But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, no. Really, ultimately, he shouldn't have been a face. It shouldn't have dragged out this long.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I get it's harder because, Randy Orton is no longer in the full-time phase of his career. But the way that they've had him sporadically, pop up for 2 to 3 weeks, then disappear for 3 months. It's like, how can we be invested into this slow burn when we don't see him for so long? We see him less than we actually see him.
It's a slow burn, but it's a slow burn.
Yeah, and what did I tell you? What was it last week? Not everything needs to be a long-term story. With long-term storytelling, which is good for the product, but it doesn't need to be every storyline. A good show is a mixture. A good show is a mixture of long-term storytelling, short-term storytelling, and that in-between range. And what I mean that in-between range is, I consider long-term storytelling anything from 6 months plus. Then I consider anything short-term storytelling, anything a month to 2 months. So anything in between is that in-between time. Is what I consider, and maybe even 6 months may be a little short on the long-term storytelling, but I feel like we very rarely even see 6 months, or, we may see it because, for evidence, Cody and Drew have been feuding for 6 months now at this point. No, maybe not quite, but almost. It's been 5. I would say SummerSlam was in August.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's been, I mean,
that's ultimately, we got off course a little bit, but that's ultimately how I would write Drew winning if they were to give him the belt.
Okay.
I feel like it gives him a statement, going, leading into the title reign. He made a statement to win this title. It's oh shit, he did that to the top guy.
It's unfortunate
because it's almost not to the degree, because obviously you're gonna have a back and forth, but it's almost a statement where it makes it almost. I'm not even gonna make that comparison. Never mind. I was gonna compare it to the Brock dismantling John, but that's not even close.
To what?
Make just in the terms of making a statement of
Oh yeah, no, he's not gonna do that. Yeah,
it's not that's why I said it's not going to be close to that, but it'll be in that same
you want the same similar pattern. Effect from it. Yeah, I get what you're saying, for sure. It just I get it. Yeah, Brock and Cena, that should never be repeated. I told you, I think on the last episode,
cool with the first one. I was cool with the first one, bro.
I think I told you on the last episode. I think. Cena or Gunther should be the only one to do that. If they do it, if they have a match like that again, and he fights Brock, he should be the one to dominate Brock.
Yeah,
I don't know if
which
you
I
said that
agreed
in the
with. I
pod, but
agreed with you, but obviously I said obviously it's Brock Lesnar to have that
yeah, they're
happen.
not gonna do that.
Like
Yeah,
one, you have to have Brock agree to that,
yeah,
and
yeah. He ain't gonna
two,
just roll over for him willingly like
two,
that.
and two, which Brock is a good businessman at the end of the day. I don't care, all other shit unincluded. When it comes to the man of Brock Lesnar, he's a smart businessman. Like he knows, especially when it comes to the wrestling business. The stories I've heard, others say just about him is of how they go to him to like talk about, their upcoming match, and he's like, they go to him with some, like, oh, this is what they want to do, and he's like, no, you know, he'll be like, he'll take it, but like change it up a little bit, and then they'll be like, just the way some guys I've seen talk about how he is when it comes to like the business side of wrestling. So like he is a smart enough businessman to notice like that would be the best outcome for the match. I just don't know if it's but the thing is it's not believable just by the physical stature of Brock Lesnar. It's like, could you have it done?
Yeah, you could make it a no DQ match and just have him use weapons.
But that goes against everything Gunther is about. Gunther isn't about using weapons. He's a ring general. The mat is sacred.
He's got a
when he's a heel. He is the like what is the word? Epitome, whatever the word is.
The epitome.
Thank you. He's the epitome of what a heel is.
Yeah.
I mean, of what a traditional heel, should I say? Like everybody of a non-traditional heel. Sorry, the traditional heel everybody thinks of being of cheating and
no, he's just beating
and all that. Like no, like when have you ever really seen Gunther cheat to win?
He doesn't cheat. He just beats you.
No, right. He just beats
you, and it's like I'm gonna rub it in your face because I beat you.
Yeah, like. That's like he is a non-traditional heel where he's not going to cheat to win. Go ahead.
He's a motherfucker. You like, as a kid when you're like, or I don't know, like some people have siblings, and then you're like, all right, let's play a video game together. Y'all play a video game, and that kid whoops your ass, and then they start talking that shit, and then you start getting mad, and then you like, damn, bruh. And then they keep whooping your ass. Yeah. And then they keep whooping your ass. And you just like, damn, bro, hold on. When you get good at this shit? And that's Gunther, bro. He just keeps walking in, beating everybody's ass. I told you I was better than you. I told you I was going to beat your ass. And then proceeds to keep doing it. Like that.
Like he said tonight, he is the best wrestler in the world. Or did he say the company? Whatever he said.
No, I think he said the word. No, he said the company.
He's the best wrestler in the company. I wouldn't be against him saying in the world. He's definitely up there.
No, he can't be the best in the world. There's one best in the world. And don't you dare disrespect him. He is your world heavyweight champion. And you will put some respect on his name by saying he is the best in the world.
Until he runs into Gunther again.
He beat him. That's the man he took the title off.
That's before he retired John Cena. That's before he made John Cena tap like a little bitch.
I ain't trying to hear it.
That's before he made John Cena tap like a little bitch. That's before he's going to retire AJ Styles. That's before, maybe not before. He may run into him before he retires Brock Lesnar. Don't let him run into that boy Gunther after he retires Brock Lesnar. Yeah, don't let that happen. Don't let that happen.
I'm just saying, he already beat him, bro. He ain't tripping. That's the best in the world. And so we're going to leave it.
And you want to know something? And you want to know something else? Gunther already beat CM Punk too. So what?
He ain't beat him for the title, though.
Yes, he did. He beat it to retain the title. What you mean?
Well, guess what?
Actually, I think I'm lying. The best in the world. I think I'm lying. I'm pretty sure that match was when Seth cashed in on CM Punk. Oh, so I'm pretty sure he beat him twice for the title, actually.
Yeah, he's the best in the world for a reason, son. Yeah, he did beat him twice. That's right.
It's okay.
That's right.
CM Punk Gunther gonna circle back. Gunther gonna circle back. He he gonna take that title, or he'll take that title. And if he don't have the title when he circles back, you know what else he's gonna take? His career. That boy gonna retire CM Punk.
Man, you know what CM Punk, if Gunther ever gives you any problems, bro, just tell him that you beat him twice. That's it. That's all you gotta do. That's it. So just call him a little bitch. Every time you see
bro,
Gunther,
you tapped out to
call
Jey
him a little
Uso.
bitch. You tapped out to Jey Uso, bro. Damn.
Nothing against Jey. I love Jey. But when have you ever known Jey to have a submission?
He hasn't used that shit. He hasn't used that shit since. He hasn't used that shit at all. So it's like, all right.
So you tapped out to a motherfucker that don't got a submission.
But you wanna call John Cena a bitch? Okay. Just saying.
But
that's kind of crazy.
We're all right. We got off topic. What else we got to
let's talk about the IC title. The women's IC
yeah, definitely.
Title.
Thank you, Hunter. I will thank you when you I will thank you when you're right. I will thank you when you're right. Nothing against Maxxine. I said this last week. Nothing against Maxxine. She was not ready for it.
Bro, we watched the match, bro. I was like, oh.
Some of the match was bad.
Yeah, no.
Not the match itself, but like some of what was supposed to go on inside of the match, and then what actually like happened.
Whether the crowd,
that was definitely the bathroom break of the day. That
wasn't
was definitely bathroom break.
That
crowd was dead, which is wild to say when you have Becky Lynch in the match.
Right? I'm sitting there like, bro, ain't no way the crowd is this dead. For number one, like you said, Becky's in the match, and number two, it's a championship match.
Exactly. I think a lot of that, like you said, is just, and it's no fault to Becky, really, because she's not the one that made any of like
the mistakes.
Any of the mistakes that went on in the ring were of Maxxine. Like the one where, like you pointed out, where she got tossed outside of the ropes, and it was literally from the middle of the ring, and you could see like her lightly jogging. Like you could tell that it just wasn't fluid because Becky was already on the mat.
Yes.
And then she started like moving to the ropes, so it didn't look good at all.
It looked bad.
I said nothing against her because I do think she has she's got the look that WWE wants, obviously.
Yeah, right.
And she has the potential in the ring. It's just, is she going to get there?
And I'm glad they made the decision to take it off of her now.
Yeah, before it got too bad.
Yeah.
But
no, just let her develop.
Yeah,
no, that shit.
You need to let her.
Shit where.
Let her. Honestly, she should have She should have.
I had to say something about that shit where she stepped out the ring, bro. That shit had. No, because I know.
Yeah, that's why. I missed it in real time, and I'm like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" You were like, "Just rewind it," and then I'm like, "And hey, I rewinded it." I'm like, "What the hell is this?"
The same exact reaction. He's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Just rewind it. You'll see." I was like, "Bro, no, all right." And then when the match happened, what did I say? Right when I saw that moment, I was like, we got to get the title off her, bro. It's got to happen. And then the match ended the way it ended. I was like, thank God.
Yeah, like unfortunately, I don't think this is the end of that feud.
It's not.
Obviously, because they played up the fact that Maxxine was 3-1 in singles competition against Becky. So now
she's 3-2.
3-2.
Yeah.
They both went back and forth with beating each other for the title, so I feel they got to have at least one more match.
Got to have that rubber match.
And honestly, with the WWE, I wouldn't be surprised with how WWE's booking is if they wouldn't put it back on Maxxine in that match. I'm not saying they should, but with how WWE books,
I think it depends on when it takes place.
That also plays a lot of factors into it. And I feel like what else depends on is what you want to do with the women's IC title leading into Mania. I think the best course of action is, as I told you, what I think they're trying to do with Becky, which is I think they're trying to have a program with AJ Lee.
Yeah.
For for Mania.
Is that gonna be for the IC title?
Does it need to be?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
But I think it should be. Why? Because if you look, and you could say this for both titles, but you could say this more for the Intercontinental title, because the women's U.S. title at least had Chelsea Green, who had a decent run with the title out of the gate. Like, she put some legitimacy on it by having some defenses under her belt and actually having a decent run with the title. There hasn't been a very decent run with the women's IC title. Lyra had it debuting and quickly showed that she can go in the ring but doesn't have the charisma outside of it.
They skipped her entrance.
And
and we talked about that a couple episodes ago. You were like, "Yo, her charisma is just not there." Respectfully. Right?
Yeah, like, I love to watch her matches. She can go. She is definitely very good in the ring. It's just she does not have the. And I said this in that same episode where I talked about her charisma. Is that's the reason she's with Bayley. Bayley is
and then
supposed to be helping that. But I know a lot of what is being written for them plays a factor into it as well. Like, if you don't have good material, like, she just needs to be herself out there. And it's like, I know that's what they, is like what veterans always tell, like, these young up and comers, is to just be yourself out there. But it's like, really just, be yourself out there. It's like it almost feels like you're trying too hard for the crowd.
Yeah, and it's like I said, tonight when we were watching, and they had, come back from commercial break, and, they were advertising the Lyra match coming up next, and then, go to commercial. They come back from commercial break.
She's on the turnbuckle.
She's already in the ring. So it's like,
especially when you're with Bayley.
Right. So, as soon as it happened, I'm talking to you, I'm like, that ties right back into your charisma argument, because it's like, you don't skip an entrance of someone who has charisma.
Right. You don't skip an entrance of somebody who can interact with the crowd.
Right.
Has the charisma to capture the crowd.
Right.
You had which I'm sure, anybody outside of the U.S., because, they don't have they see straight through, and that they don't see, they don't have the ads that we have, so they got to see the entrance actually, but there's a reason that a U.S. company doesn't do that in the U.S. Like,
there's a reason why the ad break was placed there in this region, or in the region.
As much as I hate to say it, are still the biggest market for the WWE.
Yeah.
When it comes to viewership.
Viewership, right. But I mean, she'll get better, bro. I'm not sweating it.
Yeah, I don't doubt that she will. But, I'm just certain, and where I was going with the conversation wasn't even so much to be like an argue, to bash her about her charisma. I was just saying, with the Intercontinental title, you had who took it off her? Becky, I think.
Who off of who? Lyra? I think it was Becky.
And then it was Becky, and then it was Maxxine, and then Becky again, right?
Yeah.
And granted, Becky has had it twice. Becky's first run really wasn't anything extravagant with it.
She hasn't had a lengthy run with it.
Yeah, and it's not even so much that she needs to have a lengthy run to help solidify it. You need to have feuds to help establish that this is a belt that should be worth fighting for.
Correct.
And you're just throwing. Granted, I give them credit because they're obviously doing that now with the Maxxine and, to a certain extent with the Maxxine and Becky storyline, where they're having an actual storyline play out, about two women that actually want this title, but circling back to where I was going with this is, I believe that they should keep it on Becky if the plan is to have a program with AJ Lee going into Mania, because I feel like if they're, like I said, they don't need it to have their program. I feel like you can do two things at once, though. You can have the program that you want to have for Mania, and you can also help solidify your women's mid-card division by having somebody, two megastars in the women's division to the likes of AJ Lee and Becky Lynch in a big time program going into Mania, at Mania for this championship.
Okay. I mean, that's interesting. That's interesting. Again, with Becky being back as IC champion, there's a lot of stuff you can do. There's a lot of stuff and a lot of plays you can make with that. And you can establish the title even more, and you can establish future competitors even more too. They don't necessarily have to hold it to build them up, but as long as they're in that vicinity competing for it, as long as they're in the hunt chasing it, it's the chase that people want. It's not necessarily the destination. It's the hunt. It's the chase. It's the pursuit. So, as long as they're
you
in
could
that,
even have
in
now
that
that
bubble.
Now that she's obviously not included in for the top title anymore, have Nikki Bella go down there and go after that. I'm perfectly somebody who bashes her on a weekly basis because and like I continue to say, it's not because I don't like Nikki Bella or what she can bring to the to the TV show every week. It's her being booked in the top for the to go after the top title. We don't want to see that. And for one, and for two is we know she's not going to actually win it.
Right.
Like
right.
you.
Speaking of the world title, you saw the attack from on Stephanie from Raquel.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it goes into, like you said when it happened, it goes into the theory that we had about Raquel being the one to take it off of Stephanie.
Yeah, bro. And then that, leads to...
And then that's going to further just lead to the dissension within the Judgment Day, especially now with the central piece of the Judgment Day not being there.
Oh, Dom. Yeah. Dom. Okay.
Dom is hurt. Dom is hurt with, they say he hurt his shoulder.
Ooh.
Yeah, apparently it's the same shoulder injury that everybody's been going out with recently. The one Penta just came back with, the one that took Chad Gable out. I don't know how serious it is, but I do know they said Dom would be out indefinitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so I don't know if we're going to get to a point where he's got to vacate the IC title, but depending on how long he could be out, like that could be the death of the judge. That
could be. I mean, we'll see.
But you could also, like we said, you could also how you get the death of the Judgment Day could be also played into Raquel. Raquel winning the world heavyweight, the women's world heavyweight championship, and then. You have a jealous Liv.
At least then you can get Raquel back to being a face. Because I honestly like her better as a face.
I don't know. I feel like she's almost better as a heel. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's really see her as a solo heel though. She doesn't have really, like a solo heel
that's very true. But it's just tough because her face, the way she was booked as a face, because we've already seen a solo face run. It was very bland and generic, and it's like if that's what you're gonna go back to, I would rather. Yeah, I would rather her just be a heel.
But if you're gonna make her, you know what I mean, like the way she's being booked right now, like the way she just came out there and just
they play her up as like a woman version of Kevin Nash when he had the Diesel character. They call her Big Mommy Cool.
Right. That's how they need the booker though.
But you could easily just take that character and be a face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, just do that, and then she'll be good. And with that character, her acting, isn't really gonna be that big of an issue because that character doesn't require your acting skills to be top notch. I know
because that's like her one thing to me.
Some of her acting is kind of questionable,
and she's still questionable on the mic too.
Yes, but aside from that, she's got the ring work. She can do that. She's consistent, bro.
I wouldn't be against. If it's not Raquel, other than Liv, I don't really see who else takes the title off of Stephanie. Unless you turn like a Rhea heel. But I see Rhea going to SmackDown before she turns heel.
Yeah, she's too over right now, dude. I wouldn't.
The way she's how over she is. She's the most over woman on the roster.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch nothing that she's got going on.
You just keep her.
You just teamed
right.
her up
They just
had her and Io.
Well, we could segue into that. Is they just won the tag team championships tonight.
So I don't even think she's gonna go to SmackDown now. She can't.
Well, if they have if they shake up, well, technically she can because women's tag team championships are defended against both brands.
Oh, so they don't have two women's tag champions. Okay.
No, they only have the one set still. Okay. No, they only have the one set still. So she'll be jumping back and forth.
SmackDown. Yeah. Sweet.
So you could while she's technically, you could play up any type of potential future feud that she could have on SmackDown if your plan is to move her to SmackDown. You could plant the seeds now for her.
So now you could be like, all right, she gonna defend the titles against Alexa and Charlotte. Now there's beef between Rhea and Charlotte again. But they already had beef. Or you could go Rhea and Alexa, or you could pick a different team. A different female team.
It's just, I think, like I said, like I've touched on numerous times with you, it's just, I think it's time to get Rhea some fresh opponents.
She needs, yeah, man. This whole stint on Raw has run its course, I think. I think at the end of the day, it's run its course, and she needs something fresh. She needs some fresh material to chew on, bro. That's
like I said, I want to see her against Jade.
Yes. But,
I think that's I think that's what WWE, I think, is going to want that at a big PLE. So
did they already do her and Bianca?
No, that's what I was just getting into. Yeah, that's what I was going to say is I think that's further out though, because Bianca, I think this is, okay, and here's my early prediction for the women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
Bianca is coming back for the Royal Rumble and is winning it. And it's going to be her and Jade at Mania.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe that.
But
I can't see anybody else winning it right now.
Yeah, and
in the women's division,
she's got to be fucking somewhat close to coming back. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's already cleared. She's probably already cleared to return. They're just holding her off until the Rumble.
They want people to forget about it, so that's going to be the
big because like you said, they haven't even said anything about her.
So here's the cool part. So here's the cool part about her possibly coming back, and your theory about her coming back and winning it. If she comes back and wins it, that will be great for the crowd, right? Because you get the payoff. A lot of times in the Royal Rumble, we get some surprise entrance or surprise return entrance, and they don't win. But you get the payoff of you get a returning superstar, and they win.
Well, we don't get the win with the surprise entrance, because a lot of the times it's really not like somebody, their surprise entrances are either one-off people or the returns that we do have of wrestlers that are hurt are never anybody to the effect that could actually
win a world title. It's
it's we haven't had a major star hurt and actually return at the Royal Rumble in a while. That's the thing, is you have to have the perfect blend of,
has to be timing.
You have to have the perfect blend of the timing of the injury, your return of the injury, where you being at least a somewhat full-time, competitor. Because like I said, they're not going to just have you do, what would be somebody that's normally a one-off in the Rumble. They're not just going to have you win just to have you win. You have to be somebody, somewhat of a main event full-time competitor. So it's you have to have the perfect blend of everything to actually have something like that happen, which is why we really haven't had it happen since the last one I can think of is Batista.
Yeah,
and that wasn't even really a surprise entrance because they fucking announced he was going to be in it.
He was coming back.
Yeah. So if you want to go true surprise, I would say Cena.
Yeah, when he came back from the pec injury.
Yeah, that's like the last one.
Didn't
That's the
Edge
last
win?
one I can think.
Or did he lose when he came back? I thought he won. Didn't he win?
He came, no, not the year he came back. He won the year after.
Okay. I thought he won.
Because he came back.
He
came back 20. I want to say he came back 2020. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And then
so he didn't win that Royal Rumble. Okay.
He won the year. He won the year after because
who won
you
that
won
year's?
The
year.
It was
that he came
Drew.
back?
It was Drew.
Oh, it was Drew? Okay.
Yeah, that's when, because remember, that was the same year Brock had the title and still entered the Rumble.
Yep.
And then they had Drew eliminate him and still win, and he still won but yeah, the only reason I remember that it wasn't the year he came back is because the year he came back, or when he won the Rumble, after he came back, he faced the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns.
Right.
And he would have already had to have been established with the lengthy run by then, which we both know that the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns didn't pop up until, what was it, SummerSlam? I think it was
2021.
2020.
2021.
It was 2020.
Oh, it was 2020.
Yeah, it was still during COVID.
But okay. But yeah, I think Batista was the last one. And then before that, and Batista, like you said, he's not really a surprise. But I think you're right. Any surprise entrant is usually a one-off, like a legend or something, or a part-time,
or like nowadays, like somebody from out of the company, like a former WWE superstar that's now in a different company.
Right. You had the only outlier. What about Triple H? Didn't he?
What about him?
Didn't he? I'm trying to remember. What about that? When he won the WWE Championship off of Roman. Was that in a Rumble or was that just a one-on-one match?
That was in a Rumble. I can't remember if... That's not a real return, though, because he was on TV every week as a authority figure.
He was still, yeah. So
and he announced that, he didn't announce that he was going to be in it, but he was still on TV every week as an authority figure. Like, so it's not like... Right. It was somewhat of a shock that he was actually in it, yes, but it's like with what his character was at the time, it's kind of like that's not that surprising. Now that you actually, when you actually think about it, like in the moment, you're like, oh shit, like he's, Hunter's in the fucking Rumble, but then like when you look at the storyline at the time when they didn't want Roman to be champion, him being in the authority, the head of the authority, like it's really not surprising that he entered that Rumble to make sure that Roman didn't win the title.
Yeah, outside of that, dog, that's it. So
but yeah, so I think that's where Jade is lined up for Mania. So I think any Rhea Jade match, which is realistically I think should be a Mania match. So realistically, I think it should be next Mania. Possibly, like, instead of Jade having the title, with Rhea having the title, and Jade taking it off of her.
I guess by that point, Jade would be a face, right? Or they're both...
I almost feel like Rhea's at a point right now where she can never be heel again.
She played the part too well.
Like, yeah, she played the part so well that she started getting cheered as a heel. So it's like you can never be. That goes back to what I said earlier. Like she could never be like a full blown heel again.
But Jade can still be a heel.
Yeah, I feel like Jade. As much as like, I like Jade. I don't ever think she's gonna be on the same level as Rhea is.
No, probably not.
Like I feel like that is the level that you have to reach to be to a point where you can never be a full blown like heel again. Like there's a certain level that you have to get to before you can be in that stratosphere of like, okay, yeah, this person can never be a full blown heel because no matter what they do, they're gonna get cheered.
Yeah, it goes back to what you were talking about with Randy earlier. Yeah, where you're like, you can't.
So like, I don't see, so the earliest I see a Rhea Jade match happening would be SummerSlam, or unless they have some like PLE in Australia.
Could do that.
That would be like the only other time I could see it. Because they would want a big time match for Rhea, obviously in her home country.
There's so many matches I want for Jade to have, though. And
I still want her and Naomi.
Yeah, and she's the world champ, so having her, if, for whatever
You
reason
can get
she
a lot of
loses.
those matches now with her being the champ.
Well, what I'm saying is, where I was going with it is, whatever point that you have her lose the women's Universal Championship, you then, because she's already established from other promotions and now she's been established in WWE, have her compete for the Women's United States Championship. That builds the credibility of the United States Championship even
that
more.
goes into
And
what
that's like,
I tell
that's
you all the
perfect.
time about
Now you
the
have those
mid
same
card.
matches.
That's what I tell you all the time about the mid card is you need to have some of these top guys go down and actually compete for these championships. And for it to not, once you start doing that, like once top guys don't look at it as like a demotion and they go down there willingly because they had their chance at the top title and they missed out, so now they're going after the next best thing.
I need some type of goal. I need
Yeah,
some type
like
of goal.
I had my chance at the
goal
title.
around my waist.
I couldn't, I had my chance. I'm at the back of the line, so while I'm working my way back there, I'm going for this gold. And in the meantime, and once you have your top guys willingly going down there for that, instead of using it as strictly guys who are looked at as jobbers and like up and comers, you're not really going to establish your mid card. You have to have a mixture. You have to have a mixture of the bottom tier and the top tier of the roster to make up a mid card. That is why it is called the mid card.
We were talking about that, and even and this is a little off topic, but still the same thing where you can build up the tag division even more than what it's already built, because you have I don't know, I think we talked about this on the phone a few weeks ago. You have Triple H, Shawn Michaels, DX,
Undertaker, random, Kane, like
Brothers of Destruction,
Triple H,
Randy Orton, Edge, Rated RKO. That's just three teams off the top of my head. You had John Cena and Shawn Michaels. You had
Batista and Rey Mysterio.
Batista and Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho and Big Show, Edge and Big Show,
Miz and Big Show.
We can just keep going. Miz and Big Show,
Kane and Big Show.
It's like, bro, you can just keep. So these are major main event guys that you need to be putting in the tag team division. Have them team up to elevate why do we have a tag division?
You don't really, you don't really have established tag teams. Like,
we have the good thing
is you finally you just now got the Usos to where they can split off and come back together. You know what I mean? It's like, this is the thing that they don't do anymore with their tag teams is they don't build them up to go split off, because eventually what ultimately breaks up tag teams is most of the time is they want to pursue some type of solo.
Single stardom.
So you don't they no longer build their tag teams to go on, like, to split and go off on these solo, to push solos and then come back together. Yeah, like where, and it's crazy that you just now got the Usos to that point when they're literally fucking brothers, a built-in magnet to bring them back together at any moment. Why is the New Day now looked at as like just like this mid tag team that can't bring anything to the roster? Like, they could easily both of them could easily be pursuing mid card championships while still competing in the tag team division. You've already proved you could do it with the New Day,
right? But again, we're talking about the New Day and the Usos. Again, these are established tag teams, But what about the tag teams that aren't, established tag teams? How do you develop that? You got to get the main event guys to come together, make the team, and let it develop. Let them, actually, again, it doesn't have to be every week. Undertaker and Kane were the Brothers of Destruction, but they would still have their own matches and have their own programs. But when it was time for,
the Brothers of Destruction were never really together for an extended period of time. Right. They would come together for like 3 months at a time.
But when you say Undertaker and Kane, it's the Brothers of Destruction.
As long as they were both face or they were both heel at the same time. If you get one or the other in a position where the numbers game is catching up to them, guess what's gonna happen? You're getting the Brothers of Destruction.
And now, guess what? Now guess what? Now you got a tag team match set up. There you go. Now they're in the tag division. Oh, okay. Now they're yeah, bro. It's like, bro, you got teams like the Hardys. The Hardys broke off and were able to go and have single success.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
it happened,
after
but
that's
it happened
after
later,
like you
kind of like the new.
establish, but you establish. See, when you have it's different. You have to go about it differently when it's tag team, and when you're going from tag team to establishing them into a singles, it's different. It's like the opposite of doing it from being a singles, bringing two singles competitors together. It's like you have to build them up as a tag
Right.
team. You have to get the crowd invested into them as a tag team. So now they want to see what they can do as a singles competitor.
Single success.
Where the opposite
Right.
is
It's not like
like
taking
you're
somebody
just
that's already
bringing.
developed. Yeah.
So it's like you had to.
Yeah, I get
The
what you're saying.
Hardys took a while, and WWE never really did that with the Dudleys. Like it took the Dudleys leaving WWE to split and have like a singles career.
I mean, some
They
teams
went to
just they're
TNA.
not
They went
gonna.
to TNA and they split, and Bubba Ray held the TNA Heavyweight Championship. At least once, if not a few.
Bully Ray.
Yeah, I think it was a few times.
Bully
Bully
Ray.
Ray. I'm sorry, not Bubba at that time. That was Bully.
Bully. Is he big bully?
But what's crazy is he was a he was a TNA heavyweight champion at the time, right? And had the faction, the Aces and Eights, and you know who was in the Aces and Eights? Devon. So you still had them together, even though they were doing their own singles thing, and they weren't meeting the Dudleys.
Man, I know. I just want to say this real quick because that nostalgia just hit me. I know that we are a WWE centric podcast, but boy, when they
that time
Aces
of
and
TNA,
Eights, the Main Event Mafia and TNA, bro, the Main Event Mafia, the Aces and Eights, Beer Money Incorporated, all that.
And I know that they're coming back to AMC here in a couple weeks, so they're going to be back on like regular TV for their weekly shows. But back when TNA used to be on Spike TV.
On Spike TV, yes.
On Monday nights. They used to be on Monday nights on Spike TV. That was a fucking time. Like you said, with Main Event Mafia, with the Aces and Eights, with Immortal. Immortal, you didn't even say Immortal.
Yeah, Immortal, yeah. Immortal, yeah.
Like you said, we are WWE. We're a WWE Central podcast, but we are very well versed. That does not mean we only watch WWE products. We are very well versed in other companies as well. It's just WWE is our top promotion that we enjoy watching.
Right. Yeah, again, like, that was, oh my God. And then, like, a lot of the single stars, even some of the single stars from back then ended up coming over to WWE. You had guys like AJ
being
Styles,
the main one.
Guys like Austin Aries,
Samoa Joe, Eric Young,
but, I'm just saying,
Bobby Roode, James Storm actually
didn't Frankie come over there? Didn't Frankie come over there?
The only time
I feel
the
like
only time I remember him is like recently with the TNA NXT stuff going on. Okay. I don't remember him actually being signed.
Yeah, but I know EC3 was on LA Knight.
Yeah, LA Knight was over there as Eli Drake.
Huh? Say it one more time.
I said LA Knight was over there as Eli Drake.
Yeah, Eli Drake. Yep.
Yeah, dummy.
So it's like, we could just go on about all the stars that have cross promotions, been there, done that, whatever. But it's just interesting because, like you said, we are WWE centric, but, a lot of the stars that are in WWE come from other promotions. We would be, not doing our due diligence if we didn't, look at other promotions and kind of have an idea about what's going on. Because who knows, in 5 years, in 2 years, whatever, the amount of time some of these guys' contract could run up and these guys could be stars in the WWE. So, look
at Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry, as an example, like he made himself up, got big over in TNA, and granted, you've seen him all the time on WWE TV with the TNA, with the partnership they got going on with TNA. he was making regular appearances, not like weekly, but pretty regular appearances on NXT. Right. He appeared on this, this past WrestleMania. So it's like,
believe
to not, yes, we only cover WWE, but to not be well versed in other companies, to know, who could possibly show up where, would be doing ourselves a disservice, and, there, obviously there are wrestlers that we don't see, because it's not like we go to
I
the
can't
depths.
catch every single show, every
Like,
single promotion.
it's not
Can't
like,
do it.
we don't go to the depths of the indies, like, to, find the most obscure, underrated person that we can.
Right. But we do try to, again, be cultured.
We do, we try to stay up, we try to stay up with AEW, we try to stay up with TNA, we try to stay up with New Japan.
Yeah.
But, I'm starting to get a little bit more cultured into like AAA and CMLL, the Mexican brands down there. I'm
this is a
starting to
little off topic, but I wanted to actually ask you about this, and
Go
I
ahead.
may or may not edit this out, but have you seen or heard of Fourth Rope?
Yeah, that's no, it's not Fourth Rope.
It's Fourth Rope.
Yeah, I've heard of Fourth Rope, but I was gonna say it's Booker T's, but Booker T's is a reality of wrestling.
Yeah, but no, Fourth Rope is the one with Jacob's brother.
It's not
Zilla.
Jake.
Or not
He's
Jacob.
not Jacob's brother. That's Umaga's son.
Yeah, Umaga's son. My fault. Yeah.
Well, he's all over the indies. I'm honestly just waiting on him to show up. Really.
Right, and they got him, and they got Enzo. Yeah, I was like, oh, they got a couple people over there.
I'm a little tuned into Fourth Rope as well.
I gotta tap into Fourth Rope a little bit, bro. I
think it was at Fourth Rope. It was Zilla and Lance and Hawaii against the Hardys, and Lance actually turned on Zilla.
That's crazy. Well, okay, let's get back to all right, so is there anything else we wanted to tackle? I know we didn't really get to touch on SmackDown too much from last week. Like we said, we talked about the 3 stages of hell. We didn't get a chance to talk about Trick Williams' debut, but we both said that man's going to be a main event talent immediately. You got to put him in the main event.
Do you see how he came out in that? The way he came out in that all white.
I could take off these lemon pepper steppers, boy.
He came out in that all white. What did I tell you about the crowd? As soon as they hear that music, they're gonna go crazy. And what did they do? They went crazy. He looked like a main event talent just last week alone.
Immediately, right?
Just the presentation alone.
And so it goes back to like what we were talking about on episode 1, where I was like, it was either episode 1 or episode 2, where I was like, they bring up these NXT talents a little too early, and then they try to push them when they're not ready. He's one that is ready immediately.
They actually have the ones that they're actually bringing up.
The 3, they're ready.
They can actually
they're ready. You can put them in. Yes. Even like, we talked about this on the phone. Or no, we talked about this on the last pod.
I feel like
Javon, float him around there. You can float him around like you said. He's like a Jeff Hardy-esque.
You could easily do that. I think Javon is going to take a little bit long.
Put him in the mid card.
Yeah, I think he's going to work his way through the mid card. But like
he doesn't need to be at the bottom of the card.
No,
he's not.
I don't think he will be at the
card.
No. I think like when we talk about these guys like Trick and like I told you, Oba. I think Oba is somebody like you. You have to like just insert him into the main event scene. Like just look at him.
Yeah, it's just his sheer size and the way he looks off the rip.
Just everything about it is.
Yeah.
And the little bit that the like the main roster crowd, the casual fan crowd has seen was him actually competing and holding his own, if not getting the upper hand on Cody.
Right, your current champ, main champion. So
they've already seen that he can at very minimum hold his own with Cody.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Like I said last episode, I'm excited to see all 3 of them get brought up.
I think with Javon, there's a mixture of how young he is. With Trick and with Oba, they have the experience of being the top champion on NXT.
So they have experience being a top guy already, not to the capacity of like on the main roster, obviously, but they know what is asked of being a top guy on the main roster. They have been in the spot. They have been in a spot similar to what is going to be asked of them in a main event role on the main roster. Where Javon was never NXT champion, so he was never like that. It just so happens he fell into the end of Trick Williams' time in NXT and Oba Femi's time in NXT, and also with the time that Ricky Saints is coming in as well.
That's what I was just getting ready to bring up. I'm like, we're talking about these three. What about Ricky? Because I'm like, Ricky's already
I believe Ricky
he doesn't need to be in NXT.
Yeah, I believe
honestly.
Is one when they signed him, they should have brought him right to the main roster.
He should be on the main roster. Yeah.
Like, I understand why they do what they do to a point, because they send him to NXT to help them learn the
WWE
way. Even when Ricky was in AEW, when I looked at him, I was like, yeah, he's going to be in WWE one
He's
day.
a WWE product.
He's not fit for like his character and how he how he performs and the mannerisms and everything of a sports entertainer.
It screams WWE.
Yeah, it just all screams. Like you said, it screams WWE. So like when I seen him on AEW, I'm like, yeah, that's a WWE superstar right there.
MJF,
like I actually had to look up if he had ever been in like
MJF is another one that he's in AEW, but he's another one you look at and you hear how he speaks and the way he moves, his mannerisms. MJF is
that's
a
also
WWE
talent superstar.
Yes.
Now, do I ever think he will? I don't know. I don't think he will ever be in WWE because you're going to have to severely water his character down.
If he was going to go to WWE, it would have been last year.
Yeah, when he was a free agent. That was his key time to go.
He's not ever going to WWE. I can't see it.
I don't either. But again, and he's always going to be, I don't really blame him because he's going to be the face of the company, the face of the company, the top guy of the second biggest promotion in America.
I couldn't be, again, I'm not mad at him.
That's not anything to scoff at. It's not like, as much as, you have your tribalist for AEW and your tribalist for WWE, competition is ultimately good in the world of professional wrestling. You want these guys to be able to not be in a monopoly and be able to leave and go make decent money somewhere else, one.
Right.
And two, when you have competition, that makes the product that you guys enjoy, whether it be AEW, whether it be WWE. I'm going to assume with our crowd, because we are WWE centric, it's mostly WWE. Not saying that they are WWE tribalists, but if there are some that only like WWE, just know that the competition is good because it makes the product that you enjoy watching better, ultimately.
Right.
If you guys are longtime fans of WWE, you guys can remember the times
WCW
booking the show when when TNA was supposed to be the second biggest promotion and TNA couldn't get out of their own days. Even like not even like
I was thinking you were going to take it back to WCW days.
Well, not even that. Not even that. I'm saying, think of the booking when TNA was supposed to be the biggest promotion, but they couldn't get out of their own way. So they didn't really play as a competitor to WWE, so it was a monopoly.
Yeah, right. Right.
The booking was terrible.
Hogan, and that's when
we constantly complained about the bad booking in WWE when there was no competition out there. And do we complain now? Yes, but it's not nearly. It's night and day.
It's a different type of.
It's not saying something.
We want to see it be better. We want to see it at its best potential. Right. So, whereas before it's just like, y'all are shitting the bed.
But so I believe Ricky. He should be up. He should be up too. I think sometime in 2026 he'll be up. I just don't foresee him being up and down there much longer. I think it's coming to a time if you notice, and I don't know how close you pay attention to NXT, anytime like a majority of their top main event roster in NXT, like on the male side, start to get called up, like they all usually get called up around the same time. and that's when they shift into like a new form of NXT. So like technically,
version 2.0, 3.0.
yeah, like so technically, this NXT version is the third version of NXT.
Right. Even
so I could see them calling up Ricky. They seemingly called up Jordan Grace. She was on SmackDown as well.
Yeah.
So you don't, your top, even on your women's side, you had Stephanie come up, you had Julia come up. Who else do you really have, besides Jordan, who else do you really have down there that's like, you're like, yeah, they need to be up on the main roster right now.
Jada Parker.
Sol Ruka is the only one, and she is yet to even touch the main event of the women's division. Actually, I'm pretty sure she has a match tomorrow. I'm pretty sure she has a match tomorrow on NXT because she was the Iron Survivor. She was Iron Survivor winner, so she's got a chance. I think it's tomorrow. Don't quote me.
She does have a match. She does have a match this week because I saw it. It was advertised on Raw.
Oh, I must have missed that.
She needs to be called up to the main roster immediately.
She's one that needs to be called. But even if she's not, she's still young enough where she could be incorporated into the next version of NXT is what I'm saying. It is like any of the other women that realistically could be called up besides Jordan Grace that are down in NXT are still young enough where they could still be incorporated. The only other one would be JC Jane, and I don't think JC Jane is to be like, I don't think she's going to land on the main roster if she gets called up.
Is Gigi still there?
No, they actually released her. JC is the last.
She was good though.
Yeah, that's what I'm surprised. Is JC is the last one of that fatal influence faction to still be there, and she was the least talented one out of the three.
It's like, okay, whatever. Where is Gigi at now, or is she not?
She's just on the indie.
Okay, yeah, she's fire though. But as far as Sol Ruka though, they got to bring her up. They got to bring her up.
And besides Jordan, it would be like, I would say Sol, and then Kalani Jordan would be like the other two that could potentially be called up.
Kalani. Like what about Jada?
I think she still needs some time. I haven't seen, honestly, and I don't watch on a week-to-week basis, but I usually keep up with it even if I don't watch the actual episode. I haven't seen her, actually. I don't know if she's hurt or what's going on with her, but she hasn't showed up, actually. Now that you say that, like, now that I think about it, she hasn't been on the show.
She hasn't been there. Okay. I was just curious.
But I still think Jada, and I love Jada Parker. Like, she's one of my favorite, on the women's side down in NXT, but I feel like she still needs some time down there as well. Same with Lola Vice.
Gotta let them cook.
Like, I like Lola Vice too. I think she needs a little bit more time down.
Just a tad bit. Well, let's tackle. I think we're gonna make this our final topic for this episode because we had a lot we had to dive into this week. But the last thing, because we didn't really get a chance to talk about it, was AJ and Gunther. So where do you think?
I got one more topic I want to tap into too. But we can tap into AJ Gunther as well.
So you got AJ. So what did you think about the whole segment? Because Gunther basically came out there and did the same thing he's been doing the last few weeks.
Right, and he finally had somebody come out, and I'm glad they finally did, because the coming out and doing the same thing for multiple weeks on it is cool for like the immediate week after and like maybe the following week, but like, if you didn't have nobody come out this week, you're getting to the point of, okay, now you're just dragging it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had Gunther.
I do like that they had AJ come out. As I told you while we were watching it, is I would prefer this because I don't think AJ's retiring I think all of this is eventually going to lead to him retiring AJ, but I don't think AJ's retiring in the next like few months. Mm-hmm. So I think this should be like something that you don't fully finish right now.
Yeah, you circle back to it.
You touch up on it like just a little bit. You have their match. You maybe have don't even have a following match, to be honest with you.
No, just have a one-off match.
And then you circle back to it as
you can even, this is the one situation where I give WWE a pass to make it a non-finish.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I won't complain to a non-finish.
If you're gonna circle back to it, or you might as well
Or if, like you said before, if you're gonna circle back to it, you have Gunther beat the dog shit out of AJ and kayfabe
injury.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but like I said,
the
if
only
this is
problem
truly,
with that is, like you said,
the problem with that is if this is truly the last year of AJ, that
do we want to waste that time?
Yeah, do you want to waste that much time with kayfabe injury?
Right. And who knows how long? Because it's like,
I know AJ said that he doesn't want to go past his 50th birthday, but as I told you when we were watching it, he's only 48. Has he officially said that 26 is his last year of wrestling?
I don't think
like
he
now that I
verbally
think
said
about
that.
it, like now that I think about it, like where did that rumor come that 2026 was his last year? Like the only thing that I clearly remember, unless I can't remember if I seen a video where he said,
Cena kind of hinted at it. He didn't outright explicitly say, yeah, this is it. But I mean, he basically told us.
Like, I don't know. I was just thinking that because AJ, like the only definitive thing I remember AJ saying is he didn't want to, he told his wife he wouldn't wrestle past his 50th birthday. So that realistically gives us like a year and a half because his birthday, like I said, I looked it up during the show. His birthday is in like June or July.
So if he's going to injure AJ, who's he going to, or if he's going to retire AJ, who's he going to retire before that? Or nobody? Just guess Jericho. But Jericho is supposed to show up tonight. He didn't show up.
If Jericho comes back, like I told you before, I think it's strictly with WWE pitching that it's some type of retirement storyline. And I have read reports of that's what they were pitching for Jericho. So I don't know exactly if he's coming back or not. No, but if he's coming back, like I told you, I think that's the play for, the next person that he retires, wherever you want to play that into.
He's got to do it at Mania.
I just feel like Mania is not long enough. Not saying that Jericho has to have some like year-long reign, but like,
where would you rather that it's going to be impactful, keeping in mind Minnesota SummerSlam for Brock?
You said
so it's like
as impactful, like he didn't like. This man didn't just retire somebody more impactful on a goddamn Saturday night's main event. The last two guys are more. He retired on a Saturday night's main event, so it doesn't really matter.
I mean, it could be. Yeah,
I could see I could see someplace more of like I could see them having like a Saturday night's main event somewhere like later on in the year, like somewhere in Canada,
right?
And that would make more sense to me for like a Chris Jericho retirement.
Yeah.
I just feel like with how long
I was just making sure
been,
it can't be no Raw or no.
It's definitely not going to be no Raw or SmackDown. I was just saying it's like if you could retire John Cena at a Saturday night's main event, you can retire pretty much anybody at any PLE.
Yeah, basically.
But I just feel like with Jericho, having him come back, and we're 4 months, I guess you could get a 4-month run with Jericho, but I feel like with how long he's been away, I feel like you're leaving a little bit of meat unfinished on the bone.
Right, yeah.
With the fans, what do you do when it comes to Jericho? If you bring him back and rush him into an immediate like retiring at Mania storyline.
Well, I think this kind of goes back to like last week because I think did we touch on? I can't remember. We might have, but I know with Jericho specifically, what I wanted to do if I were to book it is, let him come back. Don't even have him really interact with Gunther at all for, a few months or a month or two. Have him do a program with other people and kind of like, yo, I'm back. This is why I was the best. Then you can have, when you're ready, then you can have him do the Gunther fight and that program build for like a few months.
I totally agree.
That's how I would do it.
I was just saying that you shouldn't do it at Mania. I feel like that's too soon.
It's too short. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
which is simply.
I agree with you.
Now if Jericho was in WWE this whole time, that would be a different
story.
Then
you could do it.
But with Jericho, with how long Jericho's been gone, which at this point is 8 years.
Yeah, he needs. Yeah, I mean,
I think you leave a little bit unfinished with the fans with that fast of a turnaround, because it's instantly you bring him back, he gets this enormous pop, and you're instantly into he's getting retired at Mania. It's like you don't get to see, not that a bunch of his old, rivals are still around, but I wouldn't scoff at another Jericho Punk match.
Jericho and KO, if KO's able to come
if
back.
KO can get back in time, I wouldn't scoff at another KO match.
Jericho and Cody.
I wouldn't scoff at a Jericho Cody match. I wouldn't scoff at a Jericho Randy match. I wouldn't scoff at a Jericho AJ match.
I mean, there's a lot of people he could go against that.
I'm just saying some guys that he's got some type of history with, and that's not getting into the new, like the guys on the roster that he doesn't have a history. That's not talking of a Bron Breakker. That's not talking of an Obafemi coming up. That's not talking of a Bronson Reed. That's not talking of an LA Knight. Actually, I don't know. Him and LA Knight may have some type of history, because Jericho's been everywhere. So they may have some history somewhere along the line, somewhere
deep in the lore. But nah, man, that's got to be all for tonight, man. We gotta wrap it up. It's getting.
We're not gonna talk about my boy coming back.
Oh, Matt Cardona.
Yeah, bro. My boy came back. We ain't got to talk too much. Just, bro.
Hey, the internet champion, bro.
The internet champion is back, my boy. And he's not Zack Ryder. You like how they did the little woo 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 in the beginning, and then they switched to it? I was like, oh, that's dope. Like, they got me for a second when I thought he was coming back as Zack Ryder, and then it cut off, and I'm like, oh, I'm thinking production fucked up. And I'm like, oh, did they fuck? And then the Always Ready came, and I'm like, oh shit, he's coming. Like, and then the big question.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be a one-off when he competed in the
last time
retirement tour tournament.
Yeah, especially with it being like him as Zack Ryder. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a one-off. But then like I still had the thought, I'm like, is he signed or what? But then eventually, like during the match, Michael Cole said that Nick Aldis relayed to him through the headset that he is signed to the SmackDown roster, which I think is good. I think with him not being Zack Ryder, you can actually do something with him on the roster. I think it'll take a little bit because you're still going to have to get the stigma of Zack Ryder off of him because the casual fans aren't
that's what they remember.
Like, that's what the casual fans remember. So you're going to have to get the stigma off of him, a little bit. But I think he could be somebody, he could be a cuss main eventer, high mid-card type guy.
Kind of like where LA Knight is.
Yeah, like he could be in that position, somebody to compete.
Seeing him come back, I want them to do the same thing with Dolph, Nick. They ain't got to change his name. They ain't got to change his name.
They have him come back as Nick
bring
Nemeth.
him back. Yeah, I mean, they could. They ain't got to. They could. So I would love to see
that could be up there competing, like right where I said, and that on the cusp of the main event.
He's a former world champion.
Yeah, like
former world champion, IC champion, US champion.
Nick is somebody who was with the company long enough where when it's time for him to eventually hang the boots up, you want to see that in WWE. Like,
and you know who could do that?
The Ring General.
Yeah, bro. And that man Dolph or that man Nick
will sell the shit out of his offense. Oh,
that's what I was getting ready to say, bro.
That match will be.
He is the best seller in the business. He is the best seller in the business, bro.
That match will be cinema.
So if he ever, gets a chance to compete against Gunther in that final match, I don't expect Dolph to have a lot of offense in that match, but all the moves will look devastating. Yeah, that's what you look for. It's like I've come to that realization with Dolph over the years where I watched him, where it's like, I don't expect him to win the match. I just like watching the way he works.
You see, like
his art, his actual, the way he falls, the way he's selling the moves, and the way you understand. Like once you understand the art of wrestling, bro, then you can really appreciate all that he does.
Yeah,
he makes the other motherfucker look 10 times better than what they normally look.
Yeah, once you understand that, like you said, the art of wrestling, you understand why WWE for so long had Dolph as like Dolph was this guy that you looked at was like, damn, he's being done dirty by the business. He should be higher up. And then you look at like the art of it and you're like, I see why, even though he's constantly somebody that's taking loss after loss after loss, that he's still in this spot that is putting over the top guys because of the way that he sells, the way that he makes their offense look. Like you said, he is the best seller in business, and he can make any offense look like he was in a car accident.
Yep. And it's just, and I know he takes pride in that, as he should. And I know him working under the tutelage of HBK, who in his own right was during his time probably the best seller in the business. So it's like, him being able to have that tutelage and mentorship and translate it into his own career, bro, and kind of take the selling to a entirely different level. Like, HBK did it one way, HBK was effective, but Dolph took it and did it even better than HBK did it. So,
the way Dolph can just ragdoll.
Yes.
Like
he just flops around, looks like a fish just jumped up out of water.
Yeah, like the way that he can just ragdoll his body after offense makes it, oh my God. Like
you'd be like, you get hit with a big boot.
Any wrestler
move,
that
just
wants
a simple
to become,
move, bro.
Yeah, like could you imagine him selling
big boot,
a Gunther
choke slam? He's gonna go writhing all around the ring, rolling around. Yep.
Like, could you imagine a Gunther chop or a Gunther power bomb?
Yeah.
A Gunther clothesline?
He's twisting him inside out.
Any
Literally,
wrestler that
man
wants
Dolph
to become,
will do a flip.
Any wrestler that wants to become a better seller should be doing what they can to get in. Should be studying him and getting in what they can to get in contact with Nick Nemeth to work with him. Like,
yes, and even if you're like, I don't know, I don't truly know why they never used him. Even still, like we just discussed it, I never know truly why they never really had faith in him as a top guy or as one of the top guys.
Well, but, if you remember, remember around the time he was having, every time they would like try to push him up, he was having injury issues. Like I remember he had like concussion issues. Like he got the title and had the title not even that long, and then had a concussion or something, or it was right around the time that he was going to compete for the title or something like that, and he had a concussion. I remember that one specifically, but it's like, right, it was just very bad timing with some of his injuries too.
Right. I'm not saying that those didn't play an impact in the way his career in WWE went the first time. I'm just saying that they could have given him more opportunities. We've seen him have lengthy stints with the mid-card championships. It's not like he had the charisma to be.
The thing is the company doesn't wait on anybody. So,
no, I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying they should.
So when they give you your opportunity and you're going into a match and you get hurt leading into that match, they're not going to then put your story on the back burner until you get back. Sometimes they might.
That's what I'm saying. But you got to think it's a different time too compared to now, right? Because like back then, they're not doing that. But nowadays, we've seen it. Punk got his story finished. There's been plenty of people recently who've gotten their story finished coming back.
Yeah, but it's like, it was. I think a lot of it was just the nature of the business of wrestling. Is like he would get hurt, the story would move on, and then when he would come back, timing was also not of the best issue where they, where there wasn't anything where they could just thrust him back in the main card, the main event scene. So what did they have to do? They had to put him in the mid card, the mid card. And that's where again, in turn, those lengthy mid card titles come from. But then every time they put him up, he could, he gets hurt or he wins the championship, then gets hurt. And, eventually there's going to come a time within the top, the top of the company where they're like, we can't trust this guy with the top title because anytime he's about to compete for it or he gets it, he gets hurt. So they're eventually going to lose that trust in you as a main event guy. You know, it's like I said
and that's
before,
why they kept him in the mid card.
Yeah, it's just a perfect, you know, it comes and it's not, and I say perfect, but it's not a perfect blend in like the sense for Nick. But, you know, it's just everything has to fall in line perfectly for something like that. You know, that's the thing is
Right.
all this has to fall in line some type of way for something like this to happen, you know, for that to happen. And it just so happens, like I said, that every time he was going to compete for it, he either got hurt right leading up to it or hurt right after. And, you know, when he came back, there was just no room for him in the main event. You know, the guy who was, you know, he was feuding with when he got hurt has already moved on and is in a new feud with whoever, or isn't even in the main event scene anymore.
Or might not even be in the company anymore.
Or may not even be in the company anymore. So it's like, bro, what else can we do with him but to send it to, you know,
the mid card.
You know, it's just a perfect setup of unfortunate event.
I was just bringing them up because I, you know, again, I saw the tournament and we see Matt Cardona's back.
I would
Dolph
love
just
to
popped into my mind. I didn't mean to go into a whole tangent about it. Like I said, I know we definitely got to wrap it up.
Yeah, we definitely went a lot longer than.
Yeah, man, another one in the books, bro. You already know. So we're gonna kick it into high gear for WrestleMania season. So you know, Royal Rumble coming up. You know, we got the 3 Stages of Hell match this week on SmackDown, so we'll make sure to catch that and cover that on next week's episode. And yeah, man, just trying to get everything in order for Mania season, bro. Royal Rumble, Chamber. Hey, man. So thank y'all again. Another great episode. Man, thank y'all for locking in and subscribing, man. Continue to like, continue to share, continue to comment. We love hearing from you guys. So, man, please tap in. Thank y'all so much. Travis, what you got for him, dog?
I ain't got too much to add. Like my boy said, just continue to like, subscribe, comment. We appreciate all the love that you guys give us. We love bringing y'all these weekly episodes and all the content. We appreciate everything, man. This is Riding the Ropes, man. We'll see y'all next time.